Hey everybody, Boris speaking at Forex. Welcome to the crosses section for July 22nd to July 26, 2019. This week I want to do something a little different. This week I want to take a look at the Euro complex just by itself because Euro is the big story this week due to the ECB pressure. I'm dovish Euro and the charts are starting to prove me right. There's a lot of technical setups here in Euro Yen, Euro Pound, Euro CAD. Those are the three ideas I have, and we'll take a look at the charts in just a second. As far as the levels go, and these are just broader levels, I think, we're coming up to some very, very key resistance supports levels. On the Euro Yen, this 120.50, a very, very key level, that gets taken out. It's going to be a very, very quick move down to the 120. In Euro Pound, we've already had a clear rejection of the 90 level, and now it's really becomes a matter of whether 89 is going to go. As I said, Pound seems to be relative bid this week. Even as a matter of fact, I'm recording this on Friday night. The markets have closed, but what's interesting is on the close, the pound got significantly bid higher and actually ratcheted Euro Pound to the downside. So we'll see if there's a signal perhaps into the front of the week on that trade. And then last but not least, I said I really like CAD to the downside and Euro CAD, although not as clear and significant as the other ones, does point to the possibility of us taking out the 46s. So let's look at the charts here. We'll start with the weakest trade of all. We'll start with the Euro CAD, which looks negative, but certainly is still operating against this buy up that we had 3 days ago on the low here, I believe is 46.04. That's really the operative word here. But I think if 46 goes, what's interesting about this particular chart is if that goes, there's nothing here. As a matter of fact, we have to go. Let's see how far we have to go out. I mean, there's really nothing here for months and months and months. It's just free right here. It takes us all the way, I think, to the Macron election. I mean, this is the Macron gap, right, from the 17. So that takes us. That's the fill of the gap. The fill of the gap was 40. The close was 44. The open was essentially 46 right then and there. That is it. I mean, that's amazing. But we might actually be able to fill this gap. So this, even though this may not look as interesting on a near-term basis, there's some very long-term possibilities here. So Euro Pound to the downside, that looks very promising. The next in the Euro complex is, Euro CAD to the downside. Next in the Euro complex is the Euro Pound. And here, the Euro Pound, by the way, closes 71, but my latest bid, literally just as we went out 5 o'clock New York, is actually 35. It may gap down, which could be interesting. So if we do gap down, it's going to take out the 20 SMA. It's going to really put a square up into this 89 support level, which I think is very, very doable after a very, very long and continuous run up here. Certainly getting tired, and certainly correction is due. So if Euro sees further weakness, either in front of the ECB or post ECB, we have a reasonable chance here to make the 89s to the downside. And then Euro Yen, this is it. This is yet another trade that I think is super interesting because Euro Yen is one of those things that's just teetering on the edge. This is support. The 2050 has been triple bottom support, but we closed out, and this is why I'm bearish. We closed out on the lows in basically a shooting star formation. Whenever we get these kind of shooting star formations, there tend to be very good signals for at least some continuation to the downside. So do I think there's a reasonable chance here that we can probe the 120s? Absolutely. So all across the board, Euro to the downside, to me, looks quite interesting on the crosses. Euro Yen, Euro Pound, Euro CAD. Wish you guys the best luck, the best of trading. Boris, over and out.